welcome to ThinkTech. We are raising public awareness about energy, technology, diversity, and globalism. This is Center Stage, and I am your host, Donna Blanchard, very proud Managing Director of Kumukuhua Theater. We're coming to you live from Pioneer Plaza in the heart of downtown Honolulu, very close to Kumukuhua Theater. We broadcast our shows every weekday afternoon. You can watch them on thinktech.com, or you can go to YouTube and check out our shows after the fact. They are posted there. We also live stream on ustream.tv and Spreaker.com. My guest today, I am very happy to introduce you to Sunny-Aloha, and you will find in just a moment that she's very well suited to her name. She is an on-air radio personality on the new multicultural radio station KPRP 650 AM. It broadcasts statewide and streams globally. She considers herself the Hawaiian version of Oprah because of the daily live in-studio interviews that she holds. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to Sunny-Aloha. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you so much for being here. I've been on your show a couple of times.
Yes.
And our good friend Will Kahele, our office manager at Kumukuhua Theater, was just on your show this afternoon.
Yes.
So it's like a big house party for us
today.
Yes. I'm excited to have you here because I'm kind of fascinated about the schedule that you keep and all that you do. I mean, this isn't in the promo that you gave me, but you also consider yourself a professional volunteer.
Yes.
And you're kind of promoting every little thing that you care about, right?
Which is a lot.
Yeah, which is a lot. So let's start off by talking about what it is that you are doing right now. Tell me about the radio program first.
Oh, okay. So KPRP 650 AM, I became a part of the show in November. It's a new radio multicultural show, and it started in October. And I just happened to be on the floor as a volunteer working with Taylor Wiley from Hawaii 5-0. So we were doing 4 rounds of the radio because all year round I put people on TV and radio. I help organizers with their events. So I help on the media side, and then the day of, I'm an event photographer. I take pictures and they'll post it. So we just happened to be on the floor, and at the time I was working at Legal Aid Society of Hawaii. And the PR person there, he was shadowing me. So after we did our 4 rounds, we were leaving, and someone from KPRP 650 AM recognized him, the attorney, and invited him for an interview. So I came twice into the interview, and I was taking pictures. And at one point, I said, "Oh, I want to play." So what happened is during a break, I knew nobody was listening. So I sat down on a chair, and I started playing around with the mic, not knowing that the CEO across from me was the CEO of the radio station. So she was talking to me and asking me if I wanted my own program. And being always in the back of things, I kept telling her no. So finally she said, "Let me interview you for half an hour." So I came back one day and she interviewed me, and it was kind of fun. So she said, "For 1 month, why don't you have your own show for 1 month?" And I was still working at Legal Aid at the time, and I thought, oh, okay. So all I could think of is bringing my volunteer into my show, and all I could think of was Oprah, how she interviews people. And because we have a camera, which is very rare in the radio world, we have a camera and we're streaming live, that's when I thought, oh, I'll interview people. And so at the beginning, it was family. Please come on my show, because I needed somebody to interview.
Yeah.
But the turning point was one day I needed a person to interview, and I parked in Chinatown, and I was walking, I saw Karen from Cindy's Lay Shop, and I begged her, "Please, in 1 hour, I need to interview someone." And so she came into the show, and I interviewed her. And at one point I said, "Why isn't your lay shop called Karen? Why is it called Cindy?" And when she said it was her mother's name, and her eyes started to tear, in my heart, I knew that it was for me. And it's what I wanted to do. And she was very teary-eyed. And after she left, she contacted me, said she was thankful that I interviewed her and everything. So I realized.
So you were just having a conversation, speaking from your heart, and you realized that it was moving for her, and I'm certain for your audience as well. And then you knew, all right, you're in the right place.
Yes. So what happened is every month I started to have more and more hours there. So for 1 hour one day, and for just having 15 friends on Facebook, what I did is, because I didn't have a website, I taught myself Twitter and Instagram. And I connected it to my Facebook. So now I have over 900 people that I don't know on my Facebook. And it's because on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, I'm in events and I'm doing social media and I'm inviting people on my show, and that's the connection. And so eventually, about in May or so, I left the legal field after over 10 years. I left it because I felt like this was my calling now, and I could help more people, more organizers of events here in Hawaii on a grander scale. And so that's why I left. And so we have like a 2-year contract. So I figured, why not just give my 2 years life to the radio.
And the event, when you talk about when you were with the law firm, you were also working on events. You said you were helping people with events. What's that?
Oh, okay. So wherever I was in, I've been in banking over 10 years, restaurant over 10 years, law over 10 years. But coming back to Hawaii in 1991, I developed this thing about my passion. I realized my passion was volunteering. And so that's how I would call up people and ask to volunteer. And I could write a book. I should write a book on volunteering because you go through a lot.
Yeah.
As a volunteer, you go through a lot. So one day I should write a book.
You should. You should write a book about how to volunteer and why. Why do you like to volunteer?
I've always loved helping people. And because I volunteer for many organizers, many events, it's less stress if I volunteer because nobody can fire me. And if I'm late or whatever, then it's not so bad because it's not a paid contract and stuff. And I can move. Most volunteers volunteer in groups. For me, I'm an individual. So when I sign up, it's as an individual. So I pick and choose and stuff. But of course, with the radio, I have lesser time now because, as you know, the backside of it, there's a lot of paperwork. And because I have all live interviews, because we have the camera, it's a lot of arranging interviews, going back and forth, scheduling and stuff. But
you're still involved in events. You're definitely involved in Children and Youth Day.
Oh, okay. So Children and Youth Day, it's our 21st year. And I'm one of the chair people. So I have my own stage. It's a Teen Zone, which is right on Punch Bowl. There's no stage. It's right on the cement. And so I have live entertainment from 10 to 3. So Children and Youth Day is through the state legislature, and we're honoring children and youth. And we have it our 21st year. Last year was our 20th year. And created by Suzanne Chen Oakland, Senator Suzanne Chen Oakland. And there's many of us chairs. We're all volunteer. And I also do the PR side. So all year round, I'm letting parents know about our event. I'm looking, scouting for people to put on different stages, scouting for vendors to be there, to have their booth, to talk about their mission, to share with the children. And we meet about once or twice a month. So it's one of my biggest.
It's a big deal because there's like 50,000 people show up.
Yeah, and it keeps growing. And this year on Honolulu Hale side, we now will have a new section, and it'll focus on careers for keikis and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So we have different zones. We have the Hawaiian zone, Iolani Palace side, and Iolani Palace is open for free that day. And we have a Hawaiian stage, and I have several people flying in from different states, different islands that perform on her stage. Then we have the smaller kids, and they're at the state capitol. One of our biggest sponsors is McDonald's, and everybody likes going in there because their tent is air conditioned. and it's really hot. And so that's the younger one. And then Punch Bowl, the whole street is closed, and we have fancy cars, we have bicycles. Last year I had Taylor Wiley's shrimp truck out there. We weren't selling shrimp and stuff, but people were taking pictures as a backdrop. And I had Taylor with me all day, and I put him on several stages so he could talk to the youth. Past Punch Bowl, that whole other side, we have PG-13 stage. You have to be 13 and older because they concentrate on topics like suicide and pregnancy. So you have to be 13 and above. They have a stage there. And then now we'll have the Honolulu Hale side. And so it's a huge event. It's always the first Sunday in October.
Okay.
And October, the rest of the month, is geared. There's other free activities for children and youth.
Awesome. That well, I heard about it from you and Karen.
Yes,
initially,
Karen is
and
a chair.
I put in my order for a table. We're going to be there
Oh,
in the PG-13.
wonderful.
Most of our shows are not geared for younger kids.
Interviewing Will today, I did not realize that you have that $5 discount on Friday and Saturdays.
Oh yeah, our student tickets are only they're only $10 on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, they're still really
So it's $5
priced.
on Friday and $10 Saturday.
$5 on Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
10 on Saturday, Sunday.
Got it. And I didn't know that either.
I'm really proud of the fact that our theater is that dedicated to kids that we offer that kind of a discount.
Yes. And I'm happy, folks. I will visit you, folks. So you'll be in her section, probably the PG-13.
We'll be in the PG-13.
Yep, and I can announce it because I've been talking about it on air, and I can let them know that you folks are there. And that is so cool.
Here. Okay, now back to you. We're going to talk about you. Okay, I know you're not used to this.
I am not used to talking about me. Yes.
It's really awesome that you are in this place in your life where you have these things that you believe in and want to promote, and you have how many hours a day on the radio?
Okay, so I have 18 hours.
18 hours a week?
Yes, 18 hours a week.
Man, that is a lot of time to be talking on the air.
It's a lot of time, and my last interview I have at 6 p.m. So from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'm talking about events, current events, and I'm playing music. So because after talking all day, you kind of like want to wind down and stuff. So at times I'll play like oldies but goodies.
Oh, yeah.
And on my show, I invite anybody and everybody that I come across. And sometimes the people I interview will recommend someone and they'll contact me and I'll work with them. And so right now is very interesting, but it's good for me to really remember what it feels like to be on the other side. To have that nervous feeling, yes.
Well, I get the idea that not only are you enjoying the conversation and getting to know people, but you're getting work done too on your show. You're
right.
You're networking and saying, oh, you should do this and you should do this, and helping to make those things happen.
Right,
so
right.
It's kind of like listening in on someone who is really interesting and gets things done. That's what it's like listening to your show.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. My audience, they always let me know who their favorite people were.
Oh, yeah.
And because of what they're going through in life. So when I'm asking a person, I pretend to be the audience out there. So that's why there's no script and nothing really, anything beforehand. Because if I already know, then I wouldn't ask it. So I try to pretend to be them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
So the first part is, as you know, making them feel comfortable. And then slowly pulling out stuff within an hour. Yeah.
Within an hour.
Within an hour.
Yeah. The hours fly by.
Yep.
Sometimes they fly by.
Right.
I can tell you, sometimes I have had a few interviews that, probably only two during the year that I've been doing this. I've had a couple that, it felt like I was just trying so hard to pull information out of that person. Talk to me, please talk to me.
I've had a couple of those. And it's funny because I can talk to them on a regular basis, but in the studio, it's a different story. Mm-hmm. It's like maybe they clammed up or froze. I know what it's like. It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And then that hour, in a sense, is
that
long.
Seems to go on. I had one fellow who was so nervous about coming in that he had a couple of drinks before he came on my show. and he couldn't really focus on me. He was sort of bobbing and weaving, trying to focus on my eyes. It was that was the most frightened I've ever been, because I didn't want to embarrass that person. I didn't want to embarrass myself.
You're lucky. I had one for 1 month. We was coordinating the scheduling. Then the last minute they pulled out. Yeah.
Those are hard too.
Yeah.
You got, well, we'll use each other. You just call me, I'll just call you.
I feel for you.
It happens. So let's go. Let's see how we're doing on time here. We're going to need to take a break pretty soon, aren't we?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. Well, look, we're going to take a break.
You're like FBI.
I know.
Or CIA.
I think we're going to take a break pretty soon. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii Digital Series. I'm Donna Blanchard, talking with Sunny-Aloha, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel. That's Ted Ralston. You know, Ted is the host of Where the Road Leads. It shows every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. It's about technology. It's about how people collaborating and solve problems with modern technology. It's where the road leads. We all know that. We should all be listening. Join us there, 4 to 5 p.m. every Friday. Now, what about that do you agree with?
All of it.
I knew he'd say that. Aloha. Say aloha.
Aloha.
Good.
Hi, we're back, and we are live. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii Digital Series. I'm Donna Blanchard, talking with Sunny-Aloha of, I can never remember these, KPRP.
6:50 a.m.
Okay, so let's go back now.
Okay.
You you spent 10 years in law, 10 years in the restaurant industry, 10 years in banking.
Yes.
In that order? Are we moving backwards in that order?
Let's see. Banking, restaurant, law.
Then law, most recently.
I love children. I went to school in Oregon, Pacific University. Yay, Pacific. I was going to be a school teacher, but I didn't finish. But I love children. I always say that they're our future. Love children. Love children. Oh, back to Children and Youth Day.
Oh, yeah.
So, when I discovered that we're like the only state and country that has Children and Youth Day and Children and Youth Month, what I did is I produced a song. So I asked my friend from California if he could write a song. So I worked with him for a year, and I said, it has to be called Honor Our Children. It has to be a love song, a love story. Something that they'll hear it and they know that we're there. Then I picked the group. So I asked A Touch of Gold to sing the song. And then I approached Pierre Grill, one of the top recording studios. And he is so good. And he had agreed. And all of these people just agreed to do it, to volunteer, because they love children and youth. So he recorded the song. And one bill at the time was deployed twice. So he was helping, and he would have his little portable studio, and he would be like Afghanistan and stuff, and he would put together the sound and stuff. So it was very interesting how Pierre and I was here, most of Touch of Gold, but in California, Ricky Hanna, and he was there in California working on it. And then we had Bill at certain times. He was, at war there. So the song came together, and right now we're finishing it up in studio to get it out there, because my mission was to take the song around the world to help people create through their legislature, Children in Need Day, Children in Need Month. But I got a call about 3 years ago from Peace International, and they know I do a lot of volunteer, and they said, in 5 days, we'll have about 160 to 180 people from around the world that run for peace, and can you help them with PR? So 2 of them arrived. I met with them for 5 hours, and these 2 gentlemen, and they were so nice. Before I help people, I first want to make sure that I support them. So I needed to know what their mission was. So every 3 years, they run around the world for peace. Really cool. It's called The World Run for Peace. It's so, so cool. And so what I did was I arranged their PR. I put them on TV and radio. And the last night that they were here, they invited me to a very private ceremony that they have, because they're also, in a sense, religious and stuff. And so I played the song on our children. And so they had wanted to start creating this event in their different countries and stuff. So I realized I didn't need to go around the world. I could just stay here and get the word out that way.
Because a lot of people come to us.
Yes.
And take.
Yes. Yes. So on Children and Youth Day, we have a VIP that goes on our main stage at 11:30. At 11:35, each year I go on stage and I present the song and I dedicate it. So the first year, because I'm a HPD volunteer, first year I dedicated to the children of fallen police officers. Because in one year there was about 3 passings. And in the other year I dedicated it to the children of the Philippines. And in one year I dedicated to the children of Japan. And last year I contacted Sandy Hook Elementary and I dedicated the song for them. And so I had Hawaiian Heat, one of my cheerleading squads, they each held up a picture of each of the children and the teachers that passed away, and then the song was performed. So usually we have an 8-page ad out in the Star Advertiser before our date, and we have the invitation of inviting them to come to the stage, and it's for Hawaii to stand up for our children, and then the song is being presented.
Oh, beautiful.
So, October 5th.
October 5th. Well, we have the song here.
Yes.
Maybe we could listen to that now. Zuri, can we do that now? Okay, if we talk, will we be interrupting the music? Okay, okay, good. Should we play it now?
Wow.
I cannot. But it is fun. Okay, good. We can't hear it. So, Zuri, just let me know when that's wrapping.
Hawaii is a land of aloha.
I feel like I don't want to be talking
sea, the
too much.
rainbows in the sky,
Like really getting used to promoting.
and every place you see,
The goal is to get it
there's
out of their
peace
stories
and
so
harmony,
because everybody volunteers.
and our children are the apple of our eye. We honor our children. We honor our children.
Because I don't want
We celebrate the future here today. We honor our children, 'cause we believe our children show the way.
we're getting along really well. And yeah, let's go out.
Children of today. Peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Ooh. We honor them and pledge to protect them in our cities and our schools and at home. We'll always lend a hand and even take a stand and give them what they need to be strong. We honor our children. We celebrate our future here today. We honor our children. Ooh, 'cause we believe, as children grow, they come to know a safer, better way. Peace and harmony for the and harmony.
Peace and
Children
harmony. Peace and
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Zuri. And thank you very much for that song.
Thank you.
You said it's a 3-year labor that you've been going through,
Yes.
getting this together and bringing it to the world. And are you
Yes.
going to be, is it going to be available on iTunes?
Yes. So by the end of this year, cross my fingers, it'll be out in the stores and iTunes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then all of those funds are going right back into
To Children and Youth Day.
it's such an enormous, and we're going to get back to just talking about you, I swear. But
I think this is me.
it's such an enormous.
I think events is me.
I think it's a big part of you. You have 4,000 volunteers for this day,
Yes,
and there will be 50,000 people
Yes.
coming to it.
Because we're also across the street. In the judiciary, we have an attorney and a retired judge. And so we have the Boy Scouts getting their law badge.
Oh,
So it's also across the street. It's like the whole area.
wow.
And you'll see for the very first time in your life when you're out there.
I will. And
Yes.
hopefully I will be swamped with
Yes.
thousands of kids anxious to come to our booth and
Yes.
learn a
Yep.
little bit about theater and
Oh, that would be so cool. I'll totally tell people on the radio,
Oh, good.
my show.
You know what we're going to do at our table? We're going to have
Yeah, you should
a
tell
jar
me.
full of you'll draw a piece of paper, and each of the pieces of paper will have an
Okay.
emotion on it.
Okay.
And then we'll have like some hats and props and stuff like that, and we'll have a background for kids to portray the emotion, feel, what does it feel like to portray that, and then take selfies.
Oh,
and
you know
post
what?
it.
That is so cool. Very, very cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks.
Wow.
If you have time to absorb any of that.
Oh, yes. Oh, because on that day, I didn't tell you. So I have 2 MCs that running my stage, and I go and check and stuff. But for that day, I'm a event photographer.
Oh.
And I run the other photographers. I run the photography group. So we're combing the whole area, taking pictures. And we use the pictures and stuff for our media for the next year.
Nice.
Our
Oh,
program.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll be there.
So I will see you there. But let's get back to when you say you do PR for people.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so for an example, so say I've never heard about an event and I become interested. Okay, I'll give you an example right now. Okay, so about 3 years ago, I met Princess Ilona. She's a musician, and I thought she was so beautiful. Her music was so beautiful, and I never told her. And now that I'm very active on social media, just so I can let the people know who my guests are the day before and the day of, I get notifications. And I saw that Princess Ilona was having, she has throat cancer, and I didn't know. And she was having a fundraiser. So I reached out to her, and so I just met with her yesterday. I'm meeting with her again. And even though she has no clue who I am, she does now. And I told her that I love her music and I want to support. So we did a radio interview with her, and I'm going to be one of the co-hosts also. And it's from this Saturday from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'm also putting people on stage and getting it out of, because she's selling tickets and stuff. So I become involved. I become interested, then I become involved, and I use whatever skills I know, and I'll help the person as much as possible on the PR side. So at certain times, I'm putting entertainers on stage. I belong to Hawaii Academy of Recording Arts, so I support our music industry a lot. So I'm one of the rare people that is not a musician, but it's just because Hawaii Academy has opened up a level of people that support music, but they don't have to be a musician. I'm in that level, which is really funny. The only thing I can't do is I can't vote because I don't know enough terms and stuff. It's not fair for me to vote. So, but other than that, they treat me as if I was a musician. And so, so I get interested in the event. I introduce myself, and like I said, I could write a book because I've been turned down by people saying they don't need my help. And I won't mention the company, but this famous company turned me down 3 times. But I kept on going because it involves children. But I think it's very silly because one day you'll need a volunteer, but the person won't be there. That's why I should write a book.
Yeah. Who says no to a volunteer? Don't say the name.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's a big company.
I wouldn't say no.
Big company. So I help people on the PR side because I work a lot with the media, the TV, radio, and stuff. And I put people on TV and stuff. So I help them with that way. And in the day of...
Wait, no. When you say you put people on TV,
Yes.
you have to...
Oh, put people on
How
TV.
is it that you're going about putting people on TV,
Okay,
Sunny?
so say the person, the organizer, doesn't know how to get on TV or get into the newspaper. So I'll call and I'll do the arranging. I'll arrange for them.
So you have connections. You're going to call and
Yeah.
say, this is someone who needs to come on because
Yes.
blah, blah, blah.
And
Are
then,
so you're making those connections. Are you writing, like, sending out press releases? Or
No.
is it mostly...
no, just, I'm a walker for Island Life Hawaii Entertainment poster. And so because I drop off at different radio and different TV stations, that's how they know me. So if I have somebody and I have an event poster, then I'll go to them and I'll say, oh, do you have time to interview this person? Now the way it is, they're so competitive, so I have to give them a list and they'll choose who they want on who's representing the event. And then for radio, before KPRP 650 AM, I was already taking pictures for Cox Radio, which is now Summit. I was already taking pictures at their concerts. So I already knew them. So it was like, oh, Taylor, I'm helping him promote him at Children and Youth Day. Can we go on the radio? Then they said, okay, you can go on 4 radio spots. So I'll arrange that kind of stuff. Or like the newspaper, I'll contact them. Okay. When I'm at an event, if I have time, I'm already shooting off clips, video clips or information. Number one, to invite the media to the event.
Oh.
Or if it's too late, I'm sending them because when they have spare footage on their news, then they'll use it.
They'll just plug your stuff
Yeah,
in.
sometimes they'll say to me, they'll call me and they say, Sunny, we know you're in the community. Are you going to this event? I say, yes. They don't have that many people in the news. They're so busy. So what I'll do is after the event, I'll go and I'll drop off a CD so they can use my pictures and stuff. And yeah.
All right, we're going to take
Okay.
one more break. We'll be right
Break.
back. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii digital series, and we'll be right back.
Hi there.
Hello, I'm Martin Despang, and I'm the host together with the one and only Ali Yamashita, and our show is called Urban Transcendence. And Urban Transcendence is about identifying where we have a unique situation of a vibrant city in one of the most beautiful natural environments. So how these two can coincide, sometimes conflict, how they could find reciprocity in the 21st century is what we're excited about. And we're planning on bringing in a diverse body of guests, both from the arts and the science and the established and the wise and the emerging generation. So hope you will join us. We'll always be on Thursdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Thank you.
Hi, we're back. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii digital series, and I just spit on myself. Pardon me, I didn't spit on you. I am talking with Sunny-Aloha, who just met Jay Fidel, and Jay just came into the
And
studio.
I just asked him to be on my show.
Jay's the one who makes everything happen here,
Love
and you have
it.
already
I love
invited him
this.
to be on your show.
Yes. I take each opportunity.
Yeah, you do. You really do. That's what you don't let anything fall between the cracks. I'm getting the
Try
impression.
not to. Try not to.
I hope you don't mind my asking you this question, but I have
Sure.
to ask how do you make a living through all of this? Because you're doing a lot of volunteer stuff.
Right. Okay. So when I was in restaurant, and I've always had more than one job. Normally I would have 2 full-time jobs. Like right now. So right now, we don't get paid by the radio. However, we have sponsorships, and we get it through that way. But plus 2, I've always been connected with several temp agencies. I love convention work. I love when we have conventions. I love special events. So let's see, in a couple weeks I'll be working at the Wedding Expo at the Convention Center that I usually do every. So it's through different things.
You have a
different
lot
things.
of different streams. It must be intense.
Yes. People ask me how I do it. Good calendar. And I'm not talking about the one on the phone. I'm talking, old-fashioned school calendar. That's how I really regulate everything.
Wow.
Yes.
That boggles my mind, and it makes me clench a little just to imagine that having a regular, I'm going to get paid on these days. you know.
Right.
And
right.
I absolutely believe in volunteering, and our theater couldn't function without it. A lot of really
Right,
important
right,
organizations
right.
could not function without it.
Right.
And I do volunteer some of my time, but the idea of living your life is
As a volunteer,
exciting, but it's scary.
You know why? This is really funny. You are good. And the reason why I say this is because practically nobody knows this, but when I was growing up in elementary school, I always used to draw churches, crosses, and nuns. I wanted to be a nun. I had wanted to help people. And as I was growing up, a time in my life, I went and I sat with my priest, and I was older by then. And I had told him that I thought about going into the nunnery, or whatever they call it, and stuff. And he had asked me if I really wanted to do it, because he was saying that if you're trying to escape reality, if you're trying to escape pain, it's not the right reason. And I thought about what he said at that time, a moment in his life, and he was right, because I was trying to escape pain. So what I decided is I would be a nun in regular clothing on the outside world, because not everyone can communicate with a nun in a traditional habit. And so I'm doing what I've always wanted to do, and mostly everyone in my life doesn't know this. So I'm saying you're good because you got to pull it out of me, one of my deepest, darkest secrets. And so that's what I feel like I'm doing, helping people, but not in nun clothing. And yeah.
You are. Thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you very
No,
much for
you're
sharing
good.
it.
You get an A+ today.
Thank you, sister.
Sister Sunny. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to rename my show. Sister Sunny. Oh my
Sister
gosh.
Sunny explains it all for you. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And that makes absolute sense now.
Now,
because,
yes.
yeah. And so what other organizations
that I help with?
Yeah, what other organizations are near and
let's
dear
see.
to you?
Usually it's, if we start from January, usually it's Sony Open. I usually volunteer in the admissions in the main tent over there. Sony Open Love. Coming back in 1991, coming back from living in California and Oregon, I appreciate Hawaii so much more. So much more. That's why I recommend for people, especially our youth, to go off to college for a little while and stuff, because you appreciate. And so now what I do is I support organizations and individuals that support Hawaii. So Sony Open, then in February we have Great Aloha Run. In April we have the Spam Jam. We're coming up. I will volunteer. I sell ribbons. Aloha Festivals, we're coming up for that. And there's just so many. And a big one is my HPD volunteer. So I'm in the official police volunteer program, which the application is like as much as if he was going to be a police officer, like over 10 pages and stuff. So the only thing I didn't have to do, which I wanted to do, was I wanted to do the polygraph, because I never did a polygraph, but I didn't have to do that. But the other thing I'm glad I didn't have to do was a physical, because I didn't think I would do good. So throughout the year, there's a community policing team. There's teams all over our island. So I help with the downtown one. So I help them on the PR side. And what they do is half of the time they're in making relationships, building relationships with the public. And so I help them, and then they have their events and stuff. And then the other side, I can't be with them because they're like undercover or, doing the regular police thing. So, but that's one of my biggest important is being an HPD volunteer.
That's very. Who even knew the police had volunteers? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I would like to take a polygraph just to see.
Me too. But you know what? I always feel like I'm clear as glass.
That people are. Yeah.
I'm easily. I always feel that.
Am to a certain extent, but I think I would want to know. I would just want to know, like, if you ask a hot button question, can I keep?
Okay, let me
cool?
hook you up right now.
Okay, right now, let me see. Let me try to lie to you. No, I can't do it.
Oh yes, because I'm Sister Sunny. Remember in this show?
Yeah. I like that. Just don't give you any rulers or anything like that. And I'm sorry, I'm not Catholic. That's my knowledge of nuns is they have rulers.
Well, at least you know it's Catholic.
I knew that. Yeah.
Some people wouldn't have not even known.
Oh.
Yes, about that a nun is Catholic and stuff. Yeah, they wouldn't have even known. So.
Oh. Well, I grew up in the Midwest.
You still get the A+.
I get the A+. Okay, good. So, what are you can't have that much time for just you. This is your life.
This is my life. So my time is when I'm driving to event and I'm listening to the radio in the car. Now it's interesting because I was used to working on 9 to 5, 8 to 4 job. And now being on the radio, a multicultural station, we don't have our shows back to back. So I have in the morning, then like today I had 12 o'clock. At 3 o'clock I go back. At 8 p.m. I go back. So I have these big breaks, which I'm usually doing for working on my interviews. But then that's the time now I get to sit and eat and relax a bit.
Yeah, a bit. While you're tweeting and posting.
Right.
And getting ready
the events I go to is like music concerts, and I'm posting and stuff, for, as I mentioned off air, a lot of people that are following me now on Facebook, they used to live here. So it keeps them connected. So I feel like I'm obligated. So sometimes I'm tired and I don't want to go to an event, but sometimes I feel obligated that I have a responsibility to go for them because they can't go.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll like post my 15-second videos because that's all it can take on Instagram, or like pictures and stuff. So, yeah.
You're helping a lot of people.
Yes, I'm doing what I want to do in a invisible nun habit.
Let's talk about volunteering in
Yes.
general for a moment. I know that
I get a hard time from people all the time.
Oh, really?
Yes, because they think I'm crazy, because I'm not getting monetary, so they think I'm crazy. But they don't realize that I get a lot much more. Like, it takes time to build relationships. And if I didn't do like my volunteers for the media, they wouldn't know me, they don't trust me. So one of the things when I'm building a relationship, so that's all it is, building relationships. And the artists that I put on stage and stuff, I don't look at them as a famous person. Even the Hollywood people that I help or have helped in the past, I try to look at them as themselves and treat them as themselves. And so it's the relationships that I get rewarded by. It means a lot to me that they trust me. It means a lot to me. And I don't get the monetary, but sometimes they'll like buy me treats or snacks or feed me or whatever, And now that I'm older, I go through life. It's really weird. Like, I'll see an image and then I'll tell myself, that is what life is about. And so now recently I've been going through that every day, and I'll see that it's an image like of a child holding hands with their parent.
Oh.
And then I'll think, that's what life is all about. And I find these moments in my voluntary events because everybody else is voluntary. So I get rewarded much, much more, not in monetary, but other things. And it doesn't make much. They just buy me a sundae and I'm happy.
It doesn't take much. I will buy you a sundae. Come over and volunteer at the theater. I will get you more than a sundae. yeah, I think that sometimes people don't realize how much of the axis of the world is volunteers are important to the balance of who we are. And it can be a lot of fun to do something as a volunteer rather than
working
a board member or a staff member.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can have fun, but I think I always enjoy. You still feel the same sense of responsibility.
Right.
I always do.
Right.
Anyway. Okay, we got to wrap things up. Thanks. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you so much for being here. I would also like to thank Zuri Bender, our production manager, who is in my ear. I would like to thank our stage manager, Ali Yamashita, who's right over there, and Jay Fidel, who somehow manages to put it all together.
Yay!
And also Chrissy Goffigan, who handles all of our social media for us. We'll be back next week. I'm not sure with whom, but I have 2 different exciting guests that I'm trying to schedule. It'll be something really great. You want to see it? See you next week.